Hi, it's Joy, and today I'm going to be watching Roswell, New Mexico, Season 3, Episode 8, Free Your Mind. And we do need to free Maria's mind, and ideally Max's mind. I am stressed. I adore this show. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and right now there is a poll on my Patreon for all tiers that is for a new show that will be coming onto the channel at some point in the next few weeks. So yes, let's go. Okay, we've got this. Maria, we're going to learn a lot from this too. Even though it means Jones is as well.
I'll hold the line. My friends will come get me out, and then we'll kick your alien ass.
Is this the same lot that
Oh,
you put
God.
your faith in to keep me from tearing into your mind? Now, I may be in control.
He's such a good manipulator.
I'd rather go down swinging.
Time, we are gonna get to you, Maria, okay? You can do this. I love this so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we are literally just taking coma patients to Barnes. It's the new standard medical care in Roswell. First Kyle, now Maria.
Crazy dangerous.
Luckily, both are my specialty.
Oh.
Let me know when you got word on Maria.
I got this.
Oh, yes you do. Yes you do. I'm sorry, I'm just excited that they're in a scene together.
We are working together today. And that means we're going to be strategic. And the best part is no one's going to do anything stupid. And by nobody, I mean you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to work together?
Yes.
I joined Deep Sky.
Oh, he's telling him the truth. Fuck.
You joined.
But that's important.
After Cameron's sister. Gotta find a way to fight mine.
I joined Deep Sky for you,
Oh.
Michael. This world where you don't live in fear is not going to build itself, so I have to try.
Oh my god.
For us.
For us.
I don't know what to say. You picked a hell of a time for a grand gesture, Mains.
I should love it. I'm okay.
If her brain stops functioning and you're still attached, evidence suggests that you would die too. We better get going.
We can do this. For Maria.
So I'm Google Maps for Diet Thanos, which is probably why he's
Diet
to where he
Thanos.
wants to go. Maybe it's just what we need to destroy him.
And save
running a
Max.
memory maze with Jones as a Minotaur. I mean, riding with Patricia means experience. You're not going into hell alone.
Yeah.
But where is Jones?
Get over here.
She was doing it?
Okay, perdón, amigo. I gotta come into your kicks.
I love you, Liz. I love you, Liz. So resourceful.
Can't help but feel like there's something we're missing here.
Definitely.
Why he wants that glass? I don't know.
We don't have his full
In
plan.
every shadow. I don't think that's your hurdle to get over.
I think the same is true for you.
Ooh.
Don't let Jones carve your path.
Yes, exactly. And I think to Liz, Rosa, she still hasn't gotten over losing Rosa and getting her back. And the fact that she's now like 10 years older than Rosa. I still think like, yes, she needs to understand that Rosa is very capable. But if you think about it, like Rosa's like 20 and they're all like 28, 29, 30. So there is an age difference there. And you would want to protect someone that's that much younger. And especially someone that you've previously grieved for 10 years. It doesn't make it the right thing to do, and I think Liz needs to give Rosa more credit and like give her kind of trust her more, especially given how far she has come within her own journey. But like, I understand why Liz feels that way.
Good people, and now I don't know who we are. Who I am.
You are still you, my love. The actions of your ancestors and the people that came before you do not define you.
We're doing it.
I feel like potentially Patricia was doing a bit of what Kyle's dad was doing, like working with the enemy to try and ultimately do good. It's okay. You can't do everything and that's okay. Is that giving you an idea?
Sorry. Jones's cells vibrate.
Okay.
Rosa, you were onto something.
Yep, exactly. She will learn to trust her big little sister, because she trusts her, but she also just wants to protect her.
I know you want to save as many as you can, but if you keep swapping out test serum with placebos, they will find out and catch you.
I knew your grandma was team badass.
You followed the schematics exactly to make the machine. Good. As soon as the final
The
piece-
Lockhart
I
machine.
need you to smuggle, which caused a problem with the boy. It still needs to be mended.
Ooh.
genetically, what was the problem with Max?
With the boy.
The child.
They
Oh,
must not have discussed it.
Telephone?
In a way, but also so much more.
the lighting.
Yeah. Just a suggestion for an officer.
No,
Oh, I love
this
them
is
so
where you need to
much.
Stay on mission.
The only crime he ever committed was being my friend. So when a mission came up to take out the Taliban captain who was responsible, my buddy and I
Oh,
jumped on it.
sweetheart.
We did not stay on mission. We got completely overwhelmed, and I caught a bullet where my leg used to be. Next day, I found
I'm so
You are the
love.
one
Oh, I love that
I
he's.
cannot go through life without.
Don't even have words for how much this means. This moment.
Treatment objective.
It just goes beyond everything. Just Alex sharing such a vulnerable part of himself with Michael because Michael is that important to him, and Michael just understanding. And they've come so far from when we first met them, and all the angst and the stuff they had to work through. And I would die for them. I love you, Liz. I'm sorry. Please continue.
I gotta go help her.
No, Rosa, we need you here.
Ooh,
This is your mind palace is, remember that.
exactly.
On the outside.
Rosa is everything. Jones is somewhere, and I don't like it. I'm stressed.
Earlier, it was right. I'm sorry that I shut you down.
It's alien water under the alien bridge.
Oh. It's all to do with the Lockhart machine.
Okay.
I'm so stressed because Jones is going to be right waiting for them.
No way.
Who says science isn't exciting?
I mean, everyone. They're here as Liz is trying to break everything.
Why is this science so important to you? What does it have to do with Max?
Back on our homeworld, there were a lot of
Oh,
Maxes.
that's how he lived forever. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Come on, come on, come on, Isabel. He's reading it. How much of it did he read?
That equation.
I don't think so.
Isabel, I love you. Come on, guys. But then he's going to wake up with Alex and Michael are right there.
It's on steroids.
Isabel, you were doing it. We just need to distract him long enough.
And gain considering how much data you cost us.
Do you really think this can stop me?
Isabel is better than we. He has underestimated them.
What happened?
Maria? Oh, Maria. Are they gone? Because then I can be just totally relieved. Jones. Right, rescind my relief.
We traded places.
Oh.
Is in my body. Hear the whole story from your father's mouth.
Yes, Alex! Yes! I'm sorry, I never thought I'd be. I'm so stressed.
Yes, we did.
You know, I think we make a pretty good team.
Me too.
And your mom, Garen. I didn't get a lot of time with her, but from what I saw, she was a genius and a fighter.
Yeah.
Creepy doctor named
Cool.
Lockhart.
Mm-hmm.
A machine. My mom's part in it all. She was magnificent.
What was it Maria said, that she was a genius? Fighter? Maybe Nora is the block that you're a chip off of and not Joe.
Exactly. You little genius.
She is.
Michael admitting that maybe he could be a good person.
I just can't believe I've been spending my whole life.
I've seen it, actually.
I'm so proud of this.
Now I know why.
An alien might not get clearance to tap with a screwdriver.
I gotta admit, I'm surprised to hear you say that.
I love them so much. deserve this so much. They're everything.
We come from bad enough, babe.
Clearly.
Yes. Oh, Maria's okay. Right now things are good, and I'm sure Jones is going to ruin everything at the end to cliffhanger us. Yeah, because you're family.
If you give that big brain of yours just a little bit of a break. before you
It
start,
will help. You need breaks to just refresh.
that you are back in Roswell for good.
Me too.
Because I'm glad too.
I love this little family so much.
Do what I always do. Save Mike 7.
Yes. I love every single one of these characters so dearly. Are we going to end without like a looming cliffhanger for once, for the first time potentially all season? I'm so happy. We actually ended that without a looming cliffhanger for the first time, possibly all season. I feel like every episode has had a cliffhanger. At the very least, it's like episode 3 or something. Oh my goodness, I was endlessly waiting for Jones to appear and do something loomingly evil. Oh my goodness. Okay, where to start? Okay, I'm going to start with my favourite part of the whole episode, Malex. I adore the fact that they are working together in more ways than one now, but I think something they've done really well with Malex, and we had the whole Michael and Maria thing, and they were cute, but it was kind of, what was the point of that when we always knew it was ultimately going to be Michael and Alex? But, you know, we've really seen both of the characters work on themselves, work on their acceptance of themselves, and being the person that the other one could see that they were. And I feel like we've really, as much as slow burn ships have tortured us, I really hope that this is just going to be them together now, because we deserve it, but most importantly they deserve it, because both of them have been battling their demons and they have got their mental state, their self-worth to such a good place. Now yes, they both have a ways to go, because of course they're in the middle of a giant TV show where there's a lot of stress happening, but I'm just so proud of them. And I think, you know, we were at the point at the end of the last season where Michael was ready. You know, Michael knew that he could walk over to Alex as he sang and be like, I want to be with you, and you know, they could have got together, but he also knew that right there and then Alex wasn't at that spot quite yet, because he still needed to get fully comfortable with being exactly who he was in public. He needed to, you know, find his feet, and he did. And now they have, this season, whenever they've had the interactions, and to be honest, up until this episode they didn't even have that many interactions, their interactions were so charged with that bond, that cosmic connection between the two of them, and it just radiates through the screen, and I just love them so much that I've been crossing my fingers all season that we were going to get something like this, and the fact that it happened in episode 8, not even episode 13 or something, I'm so happy. Because to be honest, right now, if the showrunners do any kind of a thing where they're like, but we're not going to date, or, you know, I mean, when I say date, I don't mean that they need to like literally go on dates, but you know, they're not going to be together, I will be very frustrated, because there is no reason for that. Unless it's like, oh, I don't want Jones to see that we're together because then there'll be a target on your back style of thing. But that would still be a situation in which they would each know the feelings were there and that it was only a matter of time, if you know what I mean. So they just, the way that Alex was like, you're going to go and do something stupid, I'm not letting you do that, I'm coming with you. And then, you know, Michael's being typically Michael, and you know, trying to go for the sword wouldn't have been, I mean, it would have been a crazy idea, because Jones would have woken up far sooner and there would have been, you know, things would have gone a lot worse. But you could kind of see the plan of, oh, I can just get that sword and I can hold on to it this time because I'm not going to be in shock, and maybe it'll amplify my powers. And, you know, there are sort of, Michael could sort of continue to argue that point. But I love Alex for really opening up and sharing a deep part of him, personal tragedy, something that has shaped a lot of what he's been through, and also explains so much why he is so methodical, why he doesn't want to take risks, because he knows that they don't pay off. And you know, you reach a point where there is no other choice, but I think that story was so powerful, not only because it was Alex fully letting his walls down and letting Michael in on the most vulnerable, one of the most vulnerable situations he's ever been in. It also helped him to understand that, like, he gets where Michael's head is right now. He understands why Michael wants to push, but he knows that that can have catastrophic repercussions. And the fact that they're at a point in their relationship now where they can just let the walls down and just be open and honest with each other is every single fibre of my being is just proud of them. It's the love they deserve, and I'm just so happy for them. And it was just that moment after Alex told his story where they didn't really need words. Michael was able to just hold him and let him know that he understands and that he loves Alex and he's proud of him and he's so thankful that he told him, and all of the kind of emotions that I'm struggling to articulate was everything. And so then, you know, when Michael saw Jones and he saw the sword and he wanted to go for it, and Alex just took his hand to be like, I'm with you, I've got this, remember our plan, I'm with you. That would have been enough. I would have been happy for the rest of the day, week, month, year, I suppose week, because probably this time next week Jones is going to do something that's going to ruin my life. I would have been happy for the rest of the week with just that level of interaction. But then Jones waking up, coming after them, and teamwork, you know, Alex being like, okay, now we need crazy plans. And, you know, Michael is going to be struggling with this because he doesn't know the full everything about Louise. We don't, and Nora's the one we care about with Michael. Like, he doesn't know everything. Of course he doesn't. None of us do. In the same way that Maria had to confront the real possibility that her grandmother, was experimenting on people. We can't know for certain that our ancestors, grandparents, etc. were good people. We can hope and we can look at the evidence we have on our own lives and we can think that. And, you know, but the fact that having terrible people in your ancestry doesn't make you a terrible person. Especially not, had Maria's grandmother truly been experimenting on people and horrible, Maria's revulsion at that idea shows that she wouldn't have been following the footsteps. But obviously, thankfully, and I'll get to that in a minute, for Michael, he's struggling with this idea of his father being the dictator and his mother, what did she do? But we know so much more about that now from being inside the dream world. We know from what Jones said that Nora and Louise weren't the bad guys in that story. That the way he told it at the beginning, the way, you know, Max thought he felt safe, I guess that was simply because they were the same person and it was kind of that weird connection. Maybe Jones even altered that memory slightly. I think the way we have turned the tables now is we are really seeing that this was a war for the soul of the planet, for the safety of the people, and maybe Nora and Louise, you know, it wasn't as clean cut black and white. Maybe they had to cross into some grey areas in order to fight and save the day for the greater good. But that doesn't mean they were evil. You know, I mean, if they killed all the other Max clones, but then it seems Jones clones. It does seem from what Jones was saying, Max is different. Like, were the other clones sort of mindless? Sort of just empty vessels waiting to have somebody jump into them the minute he needed a new body? Whereas with Max, they kind of created a child that was fully fleshed out. But apparently there was something not quite right with him that they needed to fix. I would like to know what that was, and I'd like to fix it, please. But we're getting so much information, and I truly do believe this paints Nora and Louise in a much better light. Now, if all of the clones were fully living, breathing people, yeah, going off and just killing them all isn't a good idea, but it's sort of one of those situations where I feel like they felt they had to cross into the dark side in order to do the greater good for their planet and for people. But for Michael to then hear, you know, your mother was a genius and she was behind all this, she was saving the day, I think that is really going to help him, because when he went from thinking, oh, maybe my mother wasn't the person I sort of hoped she was, to, and then my dad's the dictator, they were to get through that. So then Alex reversing into Jones was literally everything. I'm kind of stressed because I don't know if I assume Jones recognised him. Probably, I think he saw him or his voice or whatever. That might put a target on Alex's back. I don't know, or if he wants to get to Michael, he could go after Alex, etc. I don't know. That stresses me out. But as with any case, you know, if someone wanted to get to Max, they could go for Liz, etc. That is the price of love. It makes you stronger, but it also is a vulnerability. So I'm stressed about that, but I'm also dearly in love with them. And I'm just so thankful that Alex told him about Deep Sky. He told him about the Lockhart machine. And the fact that I think Alex just being so upfront with everything and how much growth they've had. Alex just saying, oh, yeah, I'm part of this. I've been working like there. You know, I'll try and get you in. And the fact that Michael was like, yeah, I don't think the alien's going to get clearance, was actually so, shows you how far they've come, because Michael wasn't like, oh yeah, sure you choke. I don't know, I feel like season 1 Michael might have retreated back into like oh, I'm going to get hurt, so I'm going to hurt first. Whereas he acknowledged that maybe he is a chip off his mum's block. He acknowledged that he understands that Alex will do everything he can, but maybe he can't get him in there. And I'm so proud of them. And so then when he was like, what is the mission you're working on? That was just absolute everything. You know, their time is now, and I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. So many shows have hurt me with ships in the past, but I've had such faith in this one for so long. I know Michael Fleming and Tyler Blackburn ship it as well, and they are everything, and I am so happy right now. So I feel like, in general, Jones being Michael's dad, shenanigans are going to ensue from that, and I'm going to be stressed. So then we have Maria, and I am so proud of her because she fought. She didn't just give Jones everything she wanted. And then she made the choice that she wanted to follow the path. She wanted to get to the end because it was her memory. It was her ancestor. It was her line. She deserved to have that information. And I'm so proud of Rosa and Isabel for the way that the three of them stuck together. You know, Rosa only left when it was to do something that would be even more helpful rather than like, oh, this has got a bit scary, I need to leave. Like, I don't know, I mean, Rosa wouldn't do that, but just, you know. And then the way Isabel was able to distract him for long enough. I am scared though because when he was wrestling with Maria, I do feel as though he was frantically scanning it. So I don't think he would have had time to read every piece of information, because if he had, he'd have just left. He wouldn't have needed to keep fighting them. But I do feel like he potentially read a decent portion of the information. And then if he wants his hands on the Lockhart machine, he's going to want to go to Blue Sky, Deep Sky and all that. I'm stressed. I'm so proud of Maria for fighting, for never giving up hope on her friends, and I'm so glad that they were able to come through for her, because obviously they were trying everything, but they were able to do it. Isabel was able to find her strength, to delay him, to realise that, yes, it's so hard when you come across somebody who seemingly is more in touch with his power, seemingly is in more control, and is that threatening. It is easy to think, we can't beat him, I'm screwed. But she kept fighting, and she found the way to delay him long enough to save Maria. Rosa was able to give her such brilliant advice. I love Rosa so much. I think she's become my third favourite character. I think my I don't actually know how I dissed everyone, because basically every single person, you know, Michael, Alex, Rosa, Liz, Isabel, Max, Kyle, Maria. I think that's everyone. If I'm missing someone, I'm sorry. I love them all dearly. I love them. I don't have anyone there that I'm like, oh, that one's a bit annoying. Like sometimes you do on ensemble shows. I love them all. Even Gregory can count. But I am, Rosa has definitely made her way to third favourite. And the fact that, you know, around Liz, she kind of feels that she goes back to being the older sister, but the one that's a screw up, the one that's not as good. And I don't, you know, it's kind of understandable that Liz had those hang-ups, like I said during my reaction, I think, of, you know, Rosa was so troubled when she knew her when she was 19, and now, even while she can see and appreciate how far Rosa has come, and I do believe Liz has always seen and appreciated the personal growth and healing that Rosa has had in her journey, she is still now a 10 years younger big sister, her big little sister, and she is someone that she lost once and she does not want to lose again. So you know, and especially if she's someone that you might not trust with science, but I think this episode was needed for Liz to realise that Rosa has come on from there, and that it's not fair to sideline her all the time just because you personally want to keep her safe. She is part of this now. And I love when Isabel said, well, yeah, I don't think that's your battle to fight, and Liz got through that, and they were able to work together, and it's alien water under the alien bridge, and I'm just so proud of them. I'm proud of Isabel for fighting. I'm proud of Liz for not giving up, and I think it's okay, kind of, you do need to take breaks. Like, it's something that I know when I revised back in the day, when I had to do exams, thank God that's over, I would take significant breaks. I know I would wake up in the morning, I'd watch my shows that had been on, and then I would, because I needed to, because then I couldn't, like, I don't work with do the really boring thing and then you'll get the reward, because then I spend all day wanting the reward. And I'm like, I already did the fun thing, now I'll work. But not even that. I would take, you know, work for an hour or two, take a 20-30 minute break, because otherwise my brain just overloads. And I think Liz needed that break at the end of it. She needed today to celebrate this victory, to take a moment to breathe. We're all here. We're going to get Max. And, you know, we have more information than we did. If you just keep running into the problem again and again and again and again, you're never going to get there. And I'm so proud of Liz for the kind of personal realization she had, that she just keeps running, and that even though she thinks there's a valid reason for it, there isn't, and she's going to stand and fight now. And I'm proud of her. I'm proud that she's back in Roswell. I love her relationship with Isabel. I just truly enjoy how much these characters all care about each other. I adore them with every fibre of my being. Kyle is still in the barn. Literally, medical care in barns is going to be the new tagline for Roswell, New Mexico, but obviously he's under Deep Sky's supervision. I do wonder what's going to I feel kind of still at the moment that maybe Jones is the big bad of this season, and you know, maybe we'll defeat him, maybe we won't, but I think a big part potentially in the next season is going to be who the people were that put on the alien masks, injected Kyle, stole the sword, etc. I still think that, like, right now it's easy to forget about them because there's all the Jones stuff going on, and Jones is terrifying, Nathan is amazing, but that is a threat that I'm scared about. Humans can be terrifying too. I'm really stressed that I've missed something. So Jones, he is not going to be happy right now. I mean, he got part of the information, but he didn't get all of it. Do we have all of it? I guess we do. I don't know. Does he know we know where the Lockhart machine is? I don't think he does currently, but if he figures that out, that will be stressful. Has he read enough to figure it out? And he confirmed something. He confirmed that he switched them over. Because I was kind of wondering, was Max in there, you know, screaming, trying to fight? So, like, when Liz said, you know, Max, I need you to fight for me, he wasn't even in there to try. He is in a pod in Jones's body. Now, does that mean we could wake him up? And it would be Jones's body, but it would be Max's mind? Or has Jones done something else that means that isn't possible? Obviously, Jones knows how to switch consciousnesses, but they're still linked somehow because he wanted to break the links, or is that not what he wants? Because Nora, I'm going to call her Nora and Louise, Nora did say that there was something that they needed to fix with Max, you know, that they made their own clone, but there wasn't something quite right with him, and I don't know if that's to do with his heart, the fact that it gave out when he exerted vast power, whereas the dictator does whatever the hell he pleases. I'm just stressed, but I have faith in our team. We have a lot more information. You know, Jones might have got some more information, but he gave us a hell of a lot more information too that we never would have had. We know where the Lockhart machine is, and okay, so far only Alex has access. And if Deep Sky are trustworthy, I think that could be a perfect place for Liz to do her research, but if they're not, Alex needs to get the hell out of Dodge. I loved when they all dressed up as Air Force people as well. That was very funny. I love this show so much. I'm so stressed. The Lockhart machine, it calls home. It has to be to do with the alighting, whatever that is. And what is the state of their home right now? You know, it's been 70 odd years since they left. Is Oasia, I think that's the planet's name, is it still going? Are there still people there? Are they flourishing without the dictator? Are there minions of the dictator still ruling? Like, what is going on over there? I think as well, a huge bit of a growth between Michael and Alex is that when Michael was like, oh, I've always wanted to build a machine, I've always tried to find a way to call aliens, and my mum already built one for me. The fact that, you know, in the past, Alex has withdrawn. I know in season 1 when he found the piece of alien glass, he didn't show Michael because he realised Michael wanted to leave and he didn't want him to leave, whereas in this time he said, oh, I know where the machine is. He told him. That is another huge growth as well. This was an absolutely fantastic episode. I'm really, really happy right now. I'm also really, really stressed about what Jones is going to do next because he's lost his pod, he didn't get all the information he wanted, and I'm stressed. This was beyond fantastic. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you for watching.